Today in this video I'm going to pass in review an interview of Steve Jobs. He talked about a new era of computer and he even predicted AI. Before starting the video, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and you can also join the AI newsletter. The link is in the description.
As a delivery vehicle for software, just like a book is a delivery vehicle for its own kind of software. And whenever we develop a new medium, we generally tend to fall back into our old habits from our old media. As an example, when the television first came of age in America, the camera pointed at a radio show. And it took about 20, 30 years for television to really come into its own in the late 1950s. We have this new medium of interactive video because of the laser disc, and what is the first thing we do with it? We put movies on it. So again, we tend to fall back into our old habits. In the same way, when the personal computer was invented, we tended to look at it as a smaller version of a big computer.
It is really interesting that Steve Jobs explains that when there is a new era, a new revolution, people continue to have the same habits, and I see the same thing with artificial intelligence.
An interactive kind. And when I look at the personal computer, we're, as you know, living in the wake of the last revolution, which was a new source of free energy. And that was the free energy of petrochemicals, right? And it completely transformed society, and we're products of this petrochemical revolution, which is we're still living in the wake of today. We are now entering another revolution of free energy. A Macintosh, as you know, uses less power than a few of those light bulbs, and yet can save us a few hours a day or give us a whole new experience. And it's free intellectual energy. It's crude, very crude, but it's getting more refined year after year after year. And in our lifetimes, it should get very refined. And so my hope is someday, when the next Aristotle is alive, we can capture the underlying worldview of that Aristotle in a computer. And someday, some student will be able to not only read the words Aristotle wrote, but ask Aristotle a question and get an answer. And that's what I hope that we can do.
So Steve Jobs had the idea of AI, he knew how it would work, but he didn't have the name of artificial intelligence, but he knew how it would work. And he thought that with the computer it would be possible, but it is with artificial intelligence that now it is possible. So with the vision of Aristotle that he could ask him a question and then answer back is completely artificial intelligence, and we have so much power in our hand.
So this is a beginning. I think that, as you know, right now the computer industry is in the tank. Personal computers, big computers, everything. And it's difficult, it's a difficult time, but I'm sure that Henry Ford had a few bad quarters back in the 1920s. And the automobile had a sort of historical imperative. The minute it was invented, a sequence of events had to happen. The same is true with the personal computer. There is a tremendous momentum behind this. And I think that this year may be a delay. This year we may look back and say, well, 1985 was a slow year. But there is such momentum behind this that it will happen. It will permeate and change forever our educational processes. And my hope, again, is that not too many generations of students will pass through before this happens. It will happen within 20 years. It probably will happen within 10 years. But it could happen within 5 years.
You understood that Steve Jobs predicted AI a long time ago, and it is amazing that we could achieve this vision of Steve Jobs.